So Tempest Flare and Cleveland when shortstop Tim Anderson, White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson, and Cleveland Guardians third baseman Jose Ramirez got into it the other night. Um, Evan, what are your initial thoughts on the fight?
I'll try to be brief on this. Initial thoughts, and I want to throw it around because I want to hear everyone else's initial thoughts. Is you have one of the most hot tempered, and I don't say that in a bad way. Tim Anderson, I think, is a passionate player. I'm a White Sox fan, of course. You guys know this. So I think in baseball, that's good. You want to be passionate. I can't stand it when guys go in there and they look like they barely care about the game. Tim Anderson's been passionate in a good way and a passionate in a bad way. I'm not going to talk about his personal off the stuff or off the field stuff. That's up to him. But you go from the stalk off and then you go from squaring up to a baseball game. He's got passion for sure. And we'll talk later if that's right or wrong to, square up in a baseball game. But my point is though, is he has passion, and Ramirez is usually one of the most mild-mannered stars in the game. He's obviously the Cleveland Indians, or not Indians, Guardians star, but was Indians at one point. And he's always been like that, even when they had Lindor, even when 5 years ago when they were really good. He's always been known as that. So to see these guys square up is very interesting. One other point, Jose Ramirez is a thick dude. He's a big dude. I think his listed height is like 5'9", but you look at the size of him in terms of weight, that's not a guy I would want to square up with based on his size. So that's interesting that Tim did that. But anyways, other thoughts, guys? Initial thoughts?
Yeah, there's no reason to square up like that in a baseball game, especially, no matter who you're going against. I mean, there are kids watching, there are kids who look up to you as a baseball player, and is that really the kind of message that you want to send to these kids?
So I have one point. I have one point to that because I hear that a lot, and I think Jake is right on this instance. I think the kids' argument gets overused a lot because people will see like off
Mm,
the field stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, going out and partying or doing whatever, is that what kids want to see? Well, they didn't necessarily sign up to be kid role models off the field. That's their life. They're adults; they can do what they want. But on the field, I think Jake is correct. I think you have to like you. I think I said I'd get to this. The squaring up part is wrong. You should not be, if pushing and stuff leads to something quick, okay, fine, whatever. That's happened in baseball plenty of times. But I'm glad because back in the day, 10, 20 years ago, you'd have batters rushing with a bat, you'd have batters rushing just with their fist to the mound. We've seen less of that nowadays, which is good. And that is good. You should not be personally looking to fight. Again, if it happens, it's a competitive sport. It happens, someone pushes each other, but you should not be looking for that. So no, I completely agree with Jake that shouldn't have happened. But Jordan, just initial thoughts.
Uh, so the so the fight between Tim Anderson and Jose Ramirez brought me back to 2016, kind of the flashback with the Jose Bautista and Rugni Odor fight, right? Kind of the punch looked kind of similar that knocked Tim Anderson down. But as for the squaring up in a baseball game, I do not think that's right. It's baseball, not boxing, you know. Um, and Jake mentioned that that kids look up to you because obviously there's low league baseball and you have the manner in which the baseball game is conducted, and squaring up just should not happen in a baseball game.
So Pat McAfee, who runs he runs a podcast. He runs, he former NFL punter, of course, for the Indianapolis Colts. He says this is great for baseball, and of all of his, I guess, buddies or whatever who run the show with him, they love this, and I honestly don't understand why. Like, what is there to love about it?
yeah.
Again, I get it's exciting, but in terms of it, what is good about squaring up for baseball? If you need a squaring up to get interested in baseball is probably not your sport. I'm just
It's
gonna say that.
it's not.
But last thing I just want to say, because the suspensions came down yesterday on Monday, Tim Anderson was
Mm.
suspended 6 games. Jose Ramirez was suspended 3 games. Jake, do you think that was the correct decision, or how would you have
Y-
ruled?
yeah, I mean, I thought it was, yeah. So,
Jordan.
I thought Tim Anderson probably should have been suspended about the same amount of games as Jose Ramirez, maybe 4-4 each way. I think that would have
Yeah,
been fair.
Yeah, it's a tough ruling. I guess I'd probably agree with more with Jordan that it could have been a little different. As a White Sox fan, of course, I'm going to be a bias. A week, 6 games is like a week, so that's a pretty long time to be gone. So I don't want to see Tim gone that long, but it is what it is.
I'm
He'll serve
I'm
it.
kind of interested in why do you guys say that it should have been equal? Why do you guys think it should have been 4-4? Do you think roles and height they matter?
Okay, I'll be brief because I'll let Jordan respond to this because he's the one who said it should be equal. I just said it should be close. I think it should be. I don't know if it should be equal, but Tim Anderson got double the amount of games. I don't know. They both fought, so I don't know about that. I don't know if it should be equal, but I think it maybe should have been a little closer. Jordan.
Maybe because Tim Anderson started the fight, maybe he got more.
Potentially, but to me, that's not how real life works. But again, if they want, that's how they want to rule. That's how they'll rule. I mean, our season's over anyway, so if he gets 6 games, but that sucks for him because he needs to improve his stats.
Yeah, he does.
I so the reason I said 4-4 maybe was because also they both had a role in the fight, right? Like they were both throwing punches. And then obviously you had, the both benches clear, the bullpens run in, all that stuff. So they were both responsible for that happening. So that's why I think that should be 4-4 both ways.